I remember that.
So this is the death battle with a very familiar franchise for us, which is Ruby, versus a not so familiar franchise, which is Persona.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own feelings about Persona when it first started coming out, but we'll just start the video in 3, 2, 1 and play. But yeah, I just remember that Persona, it started off with like a visual of just, at least the idea was that you have to lose like a part of yourself in order to like conjure up like this persona. And one of the ways that they did it earlier in the game was that they would always signify it as like killing yourself. Like you take like a gun to your head. That's kind of like the iconic thing, I think, in 2. And you pretend to actually like put a bullet in yourself, but for some reason it creates some weird shattering effect, and then the persona comes out, and I was like, this is weird. I don't know if I feel okay about this.
Weiss Schnee, heiress to the Schnee Dust Company. And
Oh yeah, but they're talking.
Yeah, and you'll never get the best of
Mitsuru
Schnee.
Kirijo, heiress to the Kirijo group and member of the persona-wielding
Kirijo?
C's.
Oh no, I'm not about this.
Time boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh yeah, they are, I think, in the same game. The Blaze Blue cross tag
The world of
battle.
Remnant is known for many things. The vicious creatures called Grimm, the hunters and huntresses committed to fighting them, and
some other things that we don't really know about.
Yeah, they're kind of like royalty, and their princess is Weiss Schnee. As the
No,
heiress to
it's
the family
dust.
company, she grew up in a
And
pretty cold
shit.
home. Pun intended.
But then it becomes
the Schnee
magic.
family expected a lot from Weiss. It was considered essential that she live up to their highly influential name.
Too bad for them.
I can't stand her dad. He married into the family. He's not a Schnee.
know.
Left to attend Beacon Academy and train to become a huntress, literally putting the W in Team Ruby. Within just a year, Weiss established her own name for herself, saving the kingdom on more
So,
than one
my
occasion,
question
and
is,
doing
Yes.
so with her
do you
trusty
think that the
blade,
school,
Mirror's
like,
Master.
has
That's
just
McHugh.
teams of
Nasty here's
people
a multi-action
there
rapier with a
trying to think of
30-foot
how
long
they could
blade.
fucking
But guess what?
move
It's
these
also
letters
a gun.
around in
Instead of
names to make it a color?
guard,
You know,
it's got
someone had to
six
start that,
style chamber
and for
that
everyone
weighs
else has to
well
deal with that.
colored
I
like
feel
a
so
rainbow.
bad for them.
Well, they're not exactly bullets. They are vials of dust, which she can fire to enhance her weapon and skills. Ironically, the Schnee Dust Company is by far one of the largest producers and exporters of dust.
Wait.
Oh, so it's like
They
Stark
sell
Enterprise.
dust? I got a ton of that shit covering the bookshelf in my trailer. I can sell it and finally have enough money to buy a second bookshelf. Just farm, here I come.
No, not that kind of dust. In the world of Remnant, dust is an energy source, often used to fuel vehicles.
Looks like those
and
M&M
weapons.
dispensers that we saw in Vegas.
Right?
When did I say anything about books?
Well, long story short, there are 4 main types of dust: air, lightning, fire, and water.
Ah, I
And
see.
Weiss likes to mix
Where's
water and
Earth?
air together
That's
for
why I
her
asked, like,
favorite.
the Avatar
Ice
joke
dust.
is very strong with
And
this.
that is why they call you the Ice Queen.
She can also attack with fire, launch a windstorm, block attacks with barriers,
You know,
and many other
the original
things.
animation
Needless to say, Mirtanaster
wasn't,
is a
like,
surprisingly versatile weapon.
She also
anything
uses
to really
dust
look
boost
at.
her symptoms.
Sure.
But I
Basically,
feel it was
X-Men superpower.
better.
Weiss
It's,
gives her
I think it was
her
much more
family line.
fluid in a
They
way.
bunch of
Yeah.
She
It
can
didn't
Although
feel
these
as
are-
robotic.
surfaces
Yeah,
that are in the air,
although this is a
with
little bit
different
more like
color
motion
denoting its
captured.
ability.
Whereas the other
Black
one was
glyphs
kind of
hold
like,
things in place, while white
they
ones
could
propel
kind of do
things
whatever they
forward.
want with their bodies, and
Also, by infusing glyphs
and I think that
with
kind of
dust,
worked in
she
more
can
of the anime
manipulate their
aspect of it.
effects. For example, a touch of lightning dust lets her dilate time, dramatically increasing her
Although I
speed.
think they've
Or even
definitely
better, she
improved
can
since
use the
then,
glyphs
so
to summon monsters
nice.
to aid her in battle, Beastmaster style, like this crazy boar, a giant killer wasp, and the Armagigas.
which literally translates to giant armor in Latin, so fitting.
Damn, just imagine how great her family could be if they all didn't hate each other. Unlimited dust, giant bodyguards.
They do
you can
hate
summon
each other.
anytime, and
All
they'll
of
never
them.
be
All
stuck
of
with
them.
warm beer.
Unfortunately, the Schnee family does suffer from some rocky relationships, with the exception of Weiss and her older sister, Winter.
Wait, go back. Is her dad Colonel Sanders?
Yes, there's a certain resemblance.
AFC.
Yo,
Schnee?
evil
No wonder
Sanders.
I'm so rich.
Where did you get that chicken?
What? You don't carry pocket chicken?
So, back on topic, Weiss has a very powerful and versatile ability.
Resonance
and like
blaze.
most semblances, it's powered by her aura.
Which is like an invisible shield around her body. She's basically
Until it isn't.
unkillable while it's up.
Though the aura itself isn't indestructible, it can be depleted after taking a lot of damage and needs time to restore itself. Without it, she cannot use her semblance, and she's much more vulnerable.
But that aura is pretty friggin' tough. It was just enough to take a full-on hit from a geyser of lava.
Lava can reach temperatures
That's
of
it.
1200 degrees
Wait.
Celsius, enough to melt iron. And during a food fight of all things, she was thrown into a pillar.
We're gonna use this as a reference.
Hey, Wiz, I've been in a few food fights in my time, and that shit gets intense. And
The
that
chicken.
was tame by comparison.
But greatest of all, with a combination of ice and her aura, she survived riding atop a speeding train crashing through concrete.
What about the chainsaw
By measuring
thing?
the diameter of the resulting hole and applying the values of fragmentation, this means Weiss survived an impact equal to over 7 tons of TNT.
But it's not just Weiss that's tough. Her glyphs are strong enough to catapult the Armageddon.
No, I'm so used to seeing the DC superhero feats.
But
I have to realize these are two like high school
Compared to the
students.
height of her teammate
Yeah.
nearby, it appears she created over 2,000 metric tons of ice. Obviously, that much ice doesn't fit into 2 vials of dust. She's likely using the ocean as a base to exert fusion energy and vaporization energy on the nitrogen
Stop.
in the air, thereby freezing
Oh, I know.
So, at most, this would require
Science.
over 900 billion joules of energy, equivalent to detonating around 230 tons of TNT.
wow, no wonder she could push that big old robot around. Plus, Weiss can also move super quick, dodging missiles and even hitting bullets out of the air.
And with time dilation,
Oh,
she can
okay.
stay nearly untouchable while taking out her opponents in the blink of an eye.
Like that old saying, float
Oh,
like
yeah.
an
How come she never
airship on a
uses that
lazy
anymore?
river and sting
What,
like
use
your
meteors?
pee in the morning.
Just use time.
Please go to a doctor. Throughout her journey, Weiss has overcome all sorts
Aw.
of dangers, but her most difficult task may have been the moment her father cut her out of the family, leaving her financially broke and dismissed from her birthright.
Ah, boo-hoo, no
Car
more
got
allowance.
declined.
Still, she's powered through and made a name for herself as a huntress. With the ruby
The
team
fuck
at her
is her
back,
dad
I
to
think
say
she's
you-
found the
you're not allowed
family
this
she
money?
truly belongs
Right?
to.
You're married into the family. You're not even a Schnee,
You took their name.
right?
In the early 2000s, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone in Japan who didn't know of the Kirijo Group, a global conglomerate involved in nearly every aspect of daily life. And the heiress to this impressive company was a young girl named Mitsuru Kirijo.
But unknown to her, the family company was into some pretty sketchy stuff. Her grandpa started experimenting
Ooh,
with
that's
some
the
sort
face of
mental
sketchiness right
world
there.
called the Mind Place.
Or more officially, the collective unconscious, a realm
mind
connected
place.
to every living being's subconscious mind. And within the collective unconscious dwells shadows, fragments of human psyche which often appear as malevolent
The
monsters.
Dark Elves.
They're basically
Ooh.
Kind of. However, there's another sort more directly integrated with the minds of individual people, effectively becoming their shadow selves.
So some of them are demons who want
they're
to kill
heartless.
you, and some of them are
Yeah.
demons
They're
that are
nobody.
part of your brain.
Close enough.
Well, Gramps
the
tried
nobodies
to get
fighting the
shadows for
heartless.
himself, but as anyone who's tried to summon demons
kinda
will
got
tell
it.
you, don't do that. Trust me, it never works out. And when it does, it doesn't.
Chaos Incarnate erupted. The resulting explosion from his experiment released the shadows into reality to prey on an unsuspecting populace, and unveiled the Tartarus, a citadel between worlds. The Earth was drastically changed with a new dark hour, an extra hour of time occurring at midnight.
Most folks didn't notice, though. The world basically freezes in time during the dark hour, including people. So nobody's got to pick up a new 25-hour clock, because when the hour
Oh my
runs
God.
out, everything continues like nothing happened. It's like getting an extra hour of secret sleep.
But some people are
Secret
able to
sleep.
operate during
You
this
just don't
hour,
remember it.
including Mitsuru, which she decided to take full advantage of.
Yeah, she felt pretty guilty about her family basically ruining everything and sending hundreds of murder monsters into the world. So she swore to fix her grandpappy's mess.
And while she's certainly skilled with a rapier thanks to her time in fencing club, a single sword would never be enough to combat the hordes of shadows. Luckily, her first experience with the Dark Hour helped her out in this regard.
That's one
She gets
way
an
to
ice
put it.
whip.
She and her dad were almost murdered by spooky shadows.
But this event also led to an awakening. With the threat of death itself mere seconds away,
Oh,
Mitsuru
she has
dug
the
deep
Clathrin
within
haircut.
and found a new weapon, her shadow self.
And that's how she became a person user.
Persona user.
Person
Well
user.
said.
Thanks to this fateful night, Mitsuru can summon a manifestation of her personality known as a persona. This was Penthesilea, who would eventually evolve into her ultimate form, Artemisia.
Artie is the best
That is
non-imaginary
Wim.
friend you could ask for. She's got all sorts of powerful ice spells. She can heal Mitsuru's wounds. She can drain someone's energy and add it to Mitsuru's own. And she can blow people up
I
with
feel an
mega
aura may be
deal
at
of,
risk.
It's a big purple kaboom that ignores special defenses. Anyway,
Yeah.
to top it all off, she's got a kinky ice whip.
While Artemisia cannot really be killed, she does have her limits. When a persona is overtaxed or takes too much damage, it becomes broken and unusable for a short time.
And since Artemisia is technically
Short
part of
time.
Mitsuru's mind, when the persona gets hurt, so does she.
But this connection also grants Mitsuru her own set of special powers. She's physically superior to most others. She can also sense the locations of people and layouts of buildings through analytical clairvoyance. She's also immune to ice and the cold, so I'm not really sure why she needs a
Goddamn.
giant fur coat.
Everyone needs a good fur
Why?
coat, Wiz. Come on.
What a horrible matchup.
It is a pretty nice coat. Anyway, Mitsuru wasn't going into battle alone. She gathered a team of Persona users to form the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad, or SEAS, which is much easier to say.
Okay.
The team set
Oh,
out
you
to
mean like the
explore
candy?
Tartarus, combat the shadows, and put an end to the dark hour, while also scoring some extra credit because it was technically an after-school club.
Japanese schools are way more hardcore than ours.
And with the team at her back, Mitsuru needed a
The
tool
side
to reliably
comment.
summon personas with. And so came the Evoker, which might be a little disturbing to some people, so fair warning.
The
Yeah, it
gun.
looks just like a gun, and that's kind of the point. The idea is to use the gun to create an extremely traumatic experience similar to how Mitsuru first evoked her own persona.
Specifically, this is accomplished by aiming the thing at your face
Yes.
and pulling the trigger.
Yeah, that's definitely not how guns are supposed to work.
Questionable concepts aside, Mitsuru and her persona are an absolute terror on the battlefield.
What the fuck was that
Oh,
night
God.
cannon gun?
Did she just cut off that thing's dick?
Yes, she did, Boomstick, and it was a goddamn cannon.
Oh, the horror, but also cannon dick.
Mitsuru was
Cannon
quick enough to
dick.
dodge gunfire. Heck, another persona user is even fast enough to outrun a bullet fired by a magnum.
Those usually have a muzzle velocity of over 360 meters per second.
And personas can move even faster. Naoto's could react to and catch an arrow in milliseconds, and Mitsuru has defeated her in battle.
But hey, how about that time Mitsuru and her whole team survived an explosion that totally wrecked this whole bridge? Now, in my humble opinion, using my very own handcrafted munitions
Basically, Campfire,
measurement chart,
most
I'd say this
huggable
blast
for
ball
Michael Berry.
somewhere in the
Sure we
range
did.
of,
And better
oh,
than
shit,
sex.
we're dead.
Interesting, but let's use some real science now.
This is real science. I tested explosions and their real effects on real people, just like you would. I'm a real scientist now.
But that's... Wait, real people? Boomstick? Where are the interns?
Hey, look, I got you that coat that you wanted.
Ooh, thank you! Oh, it's so soft.
So are the interns. But hey, Wiz, there's one more math thing you gotta do. By working with another Persona user, Yukari, Mitsuru helped freeze up this giant, creepy puppet monster.
Well, again, taking nitrogen into account as it comprises 70% of air's makeup, we can apply its required fusion energy and vaporization energy. To find this feat would need
Big
an
number.
energy output of 60
Big-
kilotons of TNT.
So Weiss
This
lost.
can't all be attributed to Mitsuru, as she did have help.
That's still a hell of a lot of ice.
I think so, too.
Mitsuru and Artemisia sure make a powerful pair.
And even after
'Cause she's
successfully
consistently
ending the dark
faster
hour and redeeming her
and
family
immune
name,
to ice.
Mitsuru
And
continued
tougher.
battling for people
And it's got a
everywhere,
whip.
one shadow at a time.
This appears to be just the beginning.
Granted, Weiss doesn't only use ice. She has fire and lightning
Sure.
and other bullshit.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Run the data through all
it's her main
possibilities.
attack. And she ignores
That's her
special
shtick.
defense.
Yeah, just. Okay, thanks.
She ignores special defense and absorbs energy.
Oh, they're already fighting. Okay.
Such good form. You fight with a sense of ease. Thank you, but flattery will
I'm glad they actually got the voice actors for Weiss.
Well, they are Rooster Teeth.
Right. It'd just be weird if they didn't.
This is also why they have a really good Weiss model.
Yes.
Fighting me with ice. Ironic. And a waste of time. Artemisia!
Whip. I guess she could also use her knight as well, but
Like, I could see why they put them together. They're both heiresses that focus on ice with personas.
Can't touch me, Ice Queen. Huh, so that's what it's like.
But faster, stronger, and more durable.
yeah. Goddamn. The glyphs still get to me because I still don't quite understand them.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
they do.
one pushes, one pulls, and projects, and summons. They got a really interesting like blade effect.
My leg! My
Wow.
queen!
He was
It
fast.
hurts!
Oh, he got hit there. Oh.
Right in the dick.
Valiantly. But now you'll fall by my own hand.
I can do this on my own.
Artemisia, no mercy.
You'll fall by my hand. Artemisia, get her!
How strong are you?
Pretty damn.
Strong enough.
Are they really gonna just kill off Weiss? They really did it. Good job, Rooster Teeth.
Glad we got
You just shot on your own character.
That was cool.
Weiss was incredibly skilled. Her versatility certainly proved a challenge for Mitsuru, and she held a decent advantage in speed thanks to time dilation. Though to be fair, Mitsuru's analytical clairvoyance meant it would have been pretty difficult for Weiss to get the jump on her. Plus, Naota's persona had to move around Mach 7 to catch that arrow in such a short amount of time, so Artemisia must be capable of similar speeds.
Yeah, but slowing down time seems like an instant win move, doesn't it?
In some ways, yes, but we look for who can win the most matches overall, not just a couple times out of 1,000 possibilities thanks to one good move.
Yeah, even though Weiss had plenty of attack options, Mitsuru's defenses were just too strong. Like how she completely canceled Weiss's ice attacks.
This presented a unique problem for Weiss, who has always been fairly reliant on ice techniques. She was forced to use dust, which she has less experience with.
Plus, Weiss and her summons have never dealt damage anywhere close
Yeah,
to
did
that.
she
Oh, shit,
actually
we're
do
dying
anything
closer than Mitsuru
with
survived
fire or-
by taking the diameter
I'm
of
not
the
sure she even
blast
uses
here,
Earth that
comparing
much.
it to real-life nukes? Then, considering how far Mitsuru was from the center of it, she took a hit worth over 21 tons of TNT. Definitely higher than Weiss's 7-ton train feat.
Frankly, Mitsuru's survivability and power output outclassed Weiss. Even if we cut her major ice feat in half since she was aided by Yukari, Mitsuru still output 130 times more energy than Weiss when she attacked that mech.
But numbers aren't everything, right?
Sure, there's always a new way to look at things. For instance, Weiss's arsenal was limited by her aura and dust supply, while Mitsuru had no such constraint on her own powers.
Right.
It takes a long time to restore aura, and remember, when a persona gets broken, it can just come back a few seconds later.
Which was extremely useful, as Artemisia could heal Mitsuru at any time, undoing whatever progress Weiss had made.
Oh man, what an ice-cold move!
While Weiss's speed and versatility were up to fight, Mitsuru's greater defense, raw power, and more reliable arsenal proved too much for the Huntress.
She had no chance.
The winner is Mitsuru Kirijo.
Yeah, there's. That wasn't.
Right,
that
yeah.
wasn't a comparison.
Don't go away just yet. We're about to announce the next fight. And if you haven't seen the latest episode of our podcast,
Fur coats.
right there.
Music sounds familiar. Falcon. Johnny Cage.
Oh. I don't know much about Mr. Cage here, so I couldn't say.
Magic.
Oh, he's magic. Okay.
Yeah.
What makes the Falcon Punch then? Is it just there, or is it like? Is that magic?
I don't know.
Oh, but I will say that I'm gonna have to request Rooster Teeth to redo their animation from here on in with the de-oring effect, just being a cool like wipe, like screen wipe. I think that was really cool. But otherwise, I don't know. Like, you know, whenever like they finish off like another character in a death battle, it's usually really, really, really gruesome.
Yeah.
But with this one, they kind of played it pretty fair. They first shat on their own character, but then they also kind of like gave them like a pillow landing. So, I mean, I won't really knock them for that, but just I actually am quite impressed that they just stuck with the facts. And even though obviously the favorite here would have been Weiss because it's just Rooster Teeth affiliated personally, this kind of just worked out exactly how it needed to.
Less of a death battle, more of a puppy kicking.
Ooh, wasn't it so? Interesting though that they are really choosing lineups of characters that actually feature each other in like similar games, if not the same game. So for them, they're both featured in BlazBlue's Cross Tag Battle, which in case you could just put them together to fight, and there you go.
Who will win? The Ice Lady or the Ice Lady who's immune to ice?
Yeah, I wish Weiss could have at least used maybe her other like dust elements, like fire, jeez, like earth, or like fire. So I think so far as Ruby featured in death battles, I think I've only seen Yang and Weiss. But I think maybe Blake has been featured in one, but I just don't remember. If not, Impy could have been like one of those 1 minute melee things. But yeah, that's all I have to really say. This is kind of a pretty like self-explanatory type of death battle, and I still enjoyed. I really like the animation for this one this time.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering like if it's like their particular animation team or like the Ruby Pacific animation team or just Rooster Teeth's animation team, because they do work together, but I just don't know if their animation teams collide together. But I don't know. Maybe someone could let me know in the comments below. But did you have any final thoughts on this one?
Not really. This one was real cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first I was like, man, Weiss is pretty strong. And then they said like 2 things about the Persona character. I'm like, Weiss lost. There's no anything about it. That's just it.
They said 2 things about the Persona character. I'm already on Amazon ordering that fur coat. Alright, in that case, we'll end here. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys have any things you want to say about the death battle, please let us know in the comments below. But yeah, otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. # bye everyone.